My mother had what is called a nervous breakdown back then, about 1950. And it was serious depression and other problems too. So one time I really wanted to go to a basketball game. Asked my dad, and he discussed it with my mom. Said okay, but she just didn't like it because she was going to be at home alone for 2 hours. And I'll never forget when I walked out the door, she said, "I hope you have a good time, but don't be surprised if you find me hanging from the rafters when you come home."
I was in bed sleeping with my sister, and I said to her, "You know, I think I'm either going to be dead, die, or I'm going to be locked up somewhere." And I was only 10 years old. So I knew then already I wasn't the same as other people. When I was 17 to get my physical to go into college, the doctor told my parents that I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and nothing was done.
It came to a point where I had to drink. I had no choice. I was sick if I didn't drink. I was sick when I did drink. I just liked to destroy the pain in my life, and I thought everything was painful. I was trying to drink myself to death.
My husband and I had been married 19 and a half years. There was talk about restructuring departments and laying everybody off, and that is what happened. Immediately after that, he went into a super deep depression. Despite everybody's efforts, after 3 months, he took his life. When I opened the door into the garage and saw him hanging there, my first thought was, I got him down, grabbed a phone, called 911, and started CPR.
And I still remember pulling into Pine Rest and my mother saying, "I will not stay here, I will not stay here, I will not stay here." And so Dad, she wouldn't even get out of the car. Dad went in and talked to Dr. Mulder, who had started Pine Rest. And after about a half hour came out and said, "Dr. Mulder thinks you should come in." So she went in, and she ended up having shock treatments, which was about all they could do back then, and came home, and she was pretty good.
And when I finally got sent to Pine Rest, I was somewhat relieved and yet scared to death, but I didn't talk. I couldn't talk. One of my doctors I saw for 12 years, and I never talked to him. He got me started to write, so I did a lot of writing. Pine Rest stayed with me. They never kicked me out. They never humiliated me to the core. They constantly accepted me.
I was picked up by the police, and instead of going to jail, I was put in the hospital and then to a treatment center. So then I went to Jellicoe after that. At first, I did the same stuff. I conned and I said all the right things, and everything was hunky-dory, and I was going to get sobered up so I could drink again. This gentleman that one day gave his personal testimony and expressed his love for Jesus Christ, and through that, my heart was changed.
I'm working closely with Pine Rest, as are multiple members of my family. I'd never worked with them before, but I was just amazed at the competence and at the compassion.
Pine Rest is a real big part of my life. I think we're just very fortunate to have Pine Rest here.
For the first month or so, it was all bad days. I could cry for a long, long, long time. But it's getting better, and I can't say enough good stuff about Pine Rest. And when I come into some money, I'm going to be donating to Pine Rest because I really believe in the place.
I guess one thing I would like to do is walk my daughter down the aisle when she gets married. I know that if I would have kept on drinking, that would have been impossible.
Oh, what a beautiful place to be when you are just broken and wounded. Now I have motivation, I have energy. I have my mind, which I pray and thank God for every day, because I didn't have my mind and I didn't have my heart. But God wouldn't let me go, and neither would Pine Rest.